Hello, and welcome back to the Spoiler Cast, the show where we talk about movies, and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me, as always, is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello!
Hello! And today we're talking about the pretty new movie. It came out longer back than I thought, though. It's the 2025 sci-fi action romance movie,
Yes.
The Gorge.
Yay!
Yeah, alright, yay!
Oh yeah, it came out February 14th.
Yeah, so almost a month, but I didn't find out about it until like last week I saw a trailer.
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw a trailer for it. Hey,
well.
That's what happens when you just release your movies flippity-floppity on streaming services, especially, which is so weird, because this is an Apple TV or Apple Plus, whatever it's called, release, and they have so much money, and they have all the big like prestige movies. I mean, they produced Killers of the Flower Moon a couple of years ago.
Right.
They do like the big prestige movies, and they always just fucking like whatever, and do no promotion for it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Killers of the Flower Moon they did because it was such a big one. But like this,
Sure.
they have Anya Taylor-Joy, like an Academy Award nominee, not winner, I think.
I don't know if she ever won anything. No, nominee, I think.
Yeah, and it's the director of the Black Phone and Marvel movies and stuff. Like he's a bankable name, Scott Derrickson. No promotion, one trailer, that's it. It's so weird.
Like a trailer and a teaser. That's about it. And I think I've seen one clip circulating from like an interview with the two of them, with the Anya and Miles, where they mentioned the chess playing and drum playing because it relates to their previous characters. Whatever. But like that's it.
That's it though. Yeah. So starring Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. Directed by Scott Derrickson and written by, what was his name?
Zach Dean.
Right, Zach Dean. Which
Previously
is
known for Tomorrow War, Fast X, Deadfall.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Deadfall, like from 2015 or something?
2012, and 24
okay.
Hours to Live. Yeah, it's only four previous credits.
I haven't seen all of them, but we've seen Fast X, and I've seen the Tomorrow War, and I've seen the Gorge. He feels like a guy. He's like he has a bunch of feels like a guy who has a bunch of like, it's got like high concept ideas, like. So it's these two people. They're guarding this gorge. I don't know what's in it, but like he's good at elevator pitches.
Yeah.
So it's this war in the future, and the humans are losing to these super fast aliens, so they go back in time to recruit people that in the future are already dead. Like this is big concepts that you can make like a movie out of. But it's really just to focus on like character not character driven, but more character focused. Not so much building out this huge lore or like a universe that you can make more movies out of.
Yeah, because he did the same with The Gorge.
Exactly.
Really.
Yeah. And that's interesting. We should say that is the concept in the movie is two ex-military snipers,
highly trained operatives.
Super highly trained operatives. Gets a mission to protect this gorge somewhere in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
They have all these like hanging. There's all these fences and mines and automated turrets, but they don't know what's in there, and they're not allowed to communicate with the person across from them. No. This is like 300-400 meters maybe,
something like that. Yeah.
Like 1,000 feet maybe. Yeah. But sometimes they hear things from inside the gorge. But of course, after they're supposed to be there about a year, but after a few months, of course, they start communicating.
Yes.
Yeah. And it builds
hilarity ensues.
Yeah. The trailer gives away more than I think it should. So I don't want to say more than that.
The teaser was better, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I only saw the teaser.
although the big reveal doesn't come very late in the movie. It comes like before the halfway mark.
Yeah.
So there are more twists than just what's inside the gorge.
Sure. That's not the big thing.
But I when I saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be like a almost like a Passengers situation. You remember with speaking of Tomorrow War, what's his name?
Pratt?
Chris Pratt. Yeah, Chris Pratt and the little
Jennifer
lady.
Lawrence,
Jennifer
right?
Lawrence, the little lady. Jennifer Lawrence, yeah.
What did you call her?
The little lady, yeah. She's Lil Gammal. What's her name? What's it called?
Yeah, she's I don't know how to translate that. I mean, she's in Little Women as well, so she was a little lady.
Yeah, I suppose. Like it's this like big like sci-fi concept of people in hibernation for 800 years to go to a new planet, but what it really just is like a rom-com with a little bit of a sci-fi twist in the end, basically.
Yes,
I thought it was going to be something like that, but it does quickly devolve. I don't know, into like sci-fi action schlock almost. But it has
a bit of both.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think we've seen anything like that since maybe, I guess, Tomorrow War or like The Passengers.
No. And that's what's interesting about this.
What's the one with Tom Cruise and Emily
Oblivion.
Blunt?
Yeah, that's another one that feels like this. Yeah.
No, not that one. That's not with Emily Blunt.
Oh,
the one with the time travel and shit as well, or Restart Day,
Groundhog
Day.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, which original title was like All You Need Is Kill. Which
is
much cooler, but doesn't really make sense.
Which was like, what, 2014,
15?
Yeah, everything like between 2012, 2014, 15, I guess.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of those.
Yeah. Because that was we kind of skipped over. We'll get to that. That was before the huge, the huge versus was a thing. Like cinematic universes wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah, that's true.
You had Marvel, but it was 2012, 2015. That's kind of where they really started building it out with the first Avengers movie and then spreading out from there. And like nobody was talking about cinematic universes yet. It started around that time. So before that,
you did standalone big blockbusters. Like that.
Yeah, they or not as much as did maybe back in the 80s or 90s, but the studios were willing to take chances on like new IPs, so to speak.
Yeah,
new stuff that just wasn't a sequel or part of a franchise. Which is why I gotta say, I really liked The Gorge.
Yes, I was about to say, which is what I really appreciated with The Gorge.
Yeah.
It felt like one of those, I was about to say classic. It's not classic.
No.
Nah, that's not yet. You know what I mean? Like those, we haven't had one of those movies in quite a while.
I don't.
And I really enjoy them.
I enjoyed it for what it was, like sitting down, watching it right here now. I was like, yeah, this is fun. I am engaged. I'm not like falling asleep. I'm not looking at my phone. I am like focused on the movie. It's like, hey, this is fun. I don't think it's gonna have like staying power. Nobody's gonna remember like in 20 years they're gonna release the classic sci-fi drama The Gorge, the 3-disc super special collection edition. No, nobody's gonna remember this movie in a year. But
unless you like go in and look at the writer or director and you accidentally see, just like with the Tomorrow War, because I don't remember the Tomorrow War unless I see the poster.
Nobody thinks about the Tomorrow War, but when you sat down and watched it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean. That's what we need more of. Because nowadays, the movies that are pretty good always have a 2 on them or a subtitle because it's a sequel or it's a spin-off. Or we need more, like, we've talked about this before, taking chances on new ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did it, even if it was a fucking streaming movie.
Yes. Man, this could have been fine in the theaters. I don't understand why they didn't.
Yeah. Because that was also the thing. This felt like a streaming movie. Like, it's going to be very isolated. It's just basically it takes place in 2 rooms and a little bit of forest. And it's just 2 people. So it's very easy to shoot. Almost felt like a pandemic movie.
I was about to say a pandemic movie,
which. I don't know when this was shot, because I mean, like, even having that actual distance between them in the movie felt like, oh, are they hinting at something? But no, it does expand. Not much, but it does expand, and we do get to see more. I mean, it's in the trailer. We do get to see down in the gorge, you know. So I appreciated that as well. Yeah, I don't know what the budget is. I don't know if it's useless to say on these kind of movies. Maybe. No.
There isn't a lot of trivia either, so like.
No. But I'm guessing this wasn't like a super high budget, but probably like in the $60 million range, maybe.
I mean, Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, I can't speak, are not like small time actors.
No, especially not Anya Taylor-Joy. She's still pretty hot. Miles Teller, I don't know.
No, he's not like the biggest actor, but he's not small.
No, of course not.
He's this kind of feels rude, but he's like he was a bigger role in Maverick than our new favorite
Glenn Powell.
Powell, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of he's like Glenn Powell, but you know, a little more expensive, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he got the lead. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right? I had to look up because in the trivia it said like one little interesting thing in that the creatures are seem to be heavily inspired by the work of Polish painter Zdzisław Beksiński something. Cannot pronounce. I'll put it in the chat for you.
I think it's Zdzisław Beksiński.
Yeah, and I recognize the paintings when I look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Do you know what they reminded me of? What's what I was trying to say. They reminded me of the crew from
Pirates
the Flying
2.
Dutchman. Yeah. How they're kind of part of nature and Annihilation.
Annihilation. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we say there are creatures down there. And they're obviously monstrous. But that's in the trailer. That's the thing I think they should have
exactly.
kept,
that's in the trailer.
I guess I was kind of hoping for that the movie was more about what's down there, what's actually down there, more of a mystery.
Yeah.
But as soon as they actually get down there, it's like, oh, okay.
As soon as we get the first attack.
Yeah. And that's also one of the what kind of like drags this movie down for me a little bit is which kind of makes me feel like, am I my brain damaged from all the like sequels? Because I was like, how can you build upon this? Like, how can you make more around this? And I was like, it doesn't matter.
You don't have to.
They were telling this story. They were telling this story about two people who slowly fell in love with each other.
Yeah, and they just happen to be separated by a giant gorge that is infested with some weird creatures that attack at night.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. It was that, and that was the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Where though I would have wanted it to focus more on their relationship, because as soon as the action starts, that takes a backseat.
It does,
because the movie's 2 hours long, and I think it's about an hour before they have to go into the gorge, and after that, there's not a lot of relations stuff.
The only
left.
like relationship stuff there is that they actually make sure to keep each other safe, I guess, that they come back for each other. But whenever they do, there's not a second for them to just pause and like, I don't know, stare lovingly into each other's eyes. It's just and we keep running.
Yeah, not even that. Just build more on their characters, like. Because the movie, the first day they actually meet up, when he flies over, whatever you want to call it, he zip lines over. Yeah. They have dinner. He stays the night. The very next day, they have to go into the gorge. It's like, couldn't they build on the relationship and then something happened?
The build-up was supposed to be what happened before.
I know,
which is a very
That's all courtship. I want an actual relationship.
Build up.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, because they're separated by the gorge, they can't do it any other way.
No, but when they were together,
and like we could have had. You mean we could have had like more time seeing them together there? They could have had a few times they managed to go back and forth, I guess.
Yeah, and explore because there is this backstory to. They're both kind of dealing with PTSD to some extent.
Yes.
Or at least feeling conflicted about what they both have done, because they both have killed a lot of people, and they're very good at it. I wanted them to go more into stuff like that, and then
it's a little bit shallow, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because you want to get to the action, and that's the
action is good though.
The action is good. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. I'm not saying that the movie's bad. It could have been better. That's what I'm trying to get to.
The movie's kind of it's like two movies put in together, and they couldn't really like give enough space for either properly, so they just split them in half.
And that's what a high concept movie is. You have this big concept, but instead of fleshing out the world, it's a backdrop for two characters, usually falling in love.
Yes.
A good example of a movie that does expand on it is The Bourne Identity.
Oh yeah,
because that movie, that's kind of interesting. I saw a video about that a while ago, and I never thought about it, but then when you said it makes total sense. That movie is basically two movies. You have Bourne waking up on the fishing boat, not knowing who he is, and trying to piece together his past. He's activated and starts kicking the cops' ass and everything. And he finds his stash with several passports and money, and he has
all that stuff.
He runs a fucking company in France. And stuff. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And it isn't until like the very last sequence when he finds the Treadstone office that he actually kind of finds out what was going on, that he was like a secret agent sent to kill this African president, whatever it is. But what you have is then him and whatever her name is, Franca Potente's character,
Marie,
right? Her kind of like falling in love with him and wanting to help him like piece his life together again. And him falling in love with her, of course, and then having to protect her from his past. What do you call it? Parallel to that, you have the Treadstone story, where you have a bunch of people on computers and cameras, and like, oh my god, Bourne is alive. We need to find him and eliminate him right now, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, but that's the difference. They have these two stories running parallel with each other. Maybe crossing paths every now and then to make it interesting.
Yeah.
While in the Gorge, they kind of had the romance, and then they cut it off, and then just turned into pure action.
Yeah. But the thing is, and I was going to get to, is that you could cut out all the Treadstone scenes, all the people sitting at computers and stuff, and just have the Bourne scenes.
Sure.
And it would be a complete movie.
Yeah.
Just that
short movie, but
we shorter, yeah. But we would be on the same like wavelength as Jason Bourne, and we would also find out everything he finds out in the end, just that we find it out when he does, instead of finding it out interspersed throughout the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
This wouldn't work. Like, if you cut out the Gorge, it would just be two people in a tower, and it wouldn't be very interesting, because not a lot happens between them. But if you cut...
not enough happens between them,
exactly,
at least.
Not enough. But if you cut out all the like romance stuff, it would be kind of a bland, boring action movie without any characters, of course. It would just be like, gun guy walking around. Oh my god, this is a lab. We need to find out what the monsters are doing.
Yeah.
They needed to... They flesh out the backstory of the Gorge a little bit towards the end. I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed to flesh out the characters a little bit as well.
A little more, yeah.
Spend less time in the Gorge. Like the whole scene in the church. That was just like, pause the story to have a bunch of cool spiders attack us.
Yeah.
Like, make every scene matter.
Like, a bunch of those scenes were a bit too long.
Yeah.
Like same with the horses that dragged on for a bit.
Yes. But And that's why Scott Derrickson is good at writing, crowd pleasers. That's what people want, though. We want to see cool action.
True.
Because I've said it so many times before. Most people are dumb. You gotta aim for average, and Scott Derrickson, he hit the fucking bullseye on average.
However, this one could have been a little bit more.
It could have been more. Yeah, more. I saw hints of this being more.
The potential
for it to be more. Actually, maybe become like a classic/cult classic sci-fi movie in the future.
Could have, yeah, it could have. Because
it dared to actually have some character and not just lore, not just backstory.
Yeah. I had to look up exactly which ones he had been involved in writing as well. When Black Phone is one of them he was actually writing.
Yeah, but he usually has like a creative partner. Not on everything, but for a lot of stuff they work together. It's him and Robert C. Cargill, I think his name is.
Right, yeah.
He has written some stuff with him. And on this one he didn't write, but he was a producer in this movie as well. So they are like a creative team. He wrote Black Phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And produced.
Yeah. That's a good example of a high concept movie. Maybe, well, yeah, because there is some supernatural stuff, or is it just in his mind? We don't know. But it is. But the Black Phone is completely character driven. But you also have this like murder mystery kind of thing, like who is the killer, who is the guy behind the mask.
Yeah.
But it's all about building up the main character in that movie to the point where he believes in himself enough to escape.
Exactly.
So that's a great example of and that's why we love that movie so much. A great example of how you can make a high concept movie with actual good character building, or more character building, enough character building.
I mean, there is a little like sidebar, I guess, to the whole love story in the Gorge being the way it is, because they're there for, I think they show us like not even 6 months past technically.
I think they arrive in September. Because
the first title card we see is October, I think.
Right? And then they show November, December. They don't do they do monthly jumps, I think, in time.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're there. And he said I arrived in fall, so it should have been September.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're there for like, we get to see them being like, we know that they're there for about barely 6 months.
Yeah.
And they start talking in
October.
October, I think.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they fall in love very quickly, even though they don't technically talk until that one day they actually meet up.
Yeah.
And I mean, he ends that day going, I love you. So I think that also tells us a little bit about their characters, that they are, because they are loners.
They're both very lonely, yeah.
Yeah, and they obviously then easily fall in love.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing. Maybe that's what they're trying to say then, that there's no point in developing the love story because, well, they think they're in love that quickly, but they're not, maybe?
But why should we care about them then? That's the thing. Of course you want your main characters to fall in love, so we can fall in love with them too, and we're invested when they're in danger. That's how you classic way to raise the stakes. Just have the characters actually care for each other. So it's not just like, oh my god, I'm dying, and the other guy's like, oh shit, because then we're gonna go, oh okay.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like that they were trying to like portray that, and maybe that's why they sped it up a little bit. Not that it's a good choice.
That would be bad writing, and I don't. That sounds I don't agree with that at all.
That, however, wasn't my main issue with this movie. My main issue is Anya Taylor-Joy.
Really? Okay.
Hold on. I like her as an actor.
Yeah.
I am, however, very sick of her being what's it called? Typecast as the Russian girl.
Yeah. But doesn't she have
Jesus Christ.
Russian heritage?
No, she is like Spanish, Russian, something. She has a bunch of nationalities.
But she has that look. She looks like
she does have a bit
Eastern
of that look.
European. That's the thing. I think that's why.
But still, like, couldn't you just... And I get it. They're supposed to be, East and West. East and West, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I know.
I'm so sick of her Russian accent. I'm sorry. We've heard it so many times now. I'm done with that one.
Yeah.
She could have, I don't know, still had like a...
I mean, she hasn't done it that many times, it looks like. It's just that it sticks out because she's done it more than once, I suppose. Because honestly, like, you think of her in The Witch, she's British or whatever you call it.
American.
American. Split, she's American. Thoroughbred, she's American. Marrowbone, I haven't seen. Glass, obviously American because it's a Split sequel.
Yeah.
Emma, the Netflix show, she's British.
Is she?
Isn't she? Oh, maybe it is American. I haven't seen it, but I thought it was.
I don't know which that one is. Show. To be honest.
Then in the New Mutants, the movie that...
The New Mutants, she's Russian.
That came out, sort of, but didn't? I don't know. That movie was weird. Yeah,
It came out, but no one watched it.
Yeah, exactly.
She's Russian. Is in the Queen's Gambit, she's
called Beth Harmon. I don't know. I never saw that show.
I think she has an accent sometimes, but she, like, trains it away to be more American or something, if I don't misremember.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But then...
But yeah, the ones that pop up are the ones when she always has a stupid Russian accent. I'm so done with it. But those are the clips that surface.
Yeah, I know, but now I'm trying to, like, when have I actually heard her? The only one that for me, of course, is The Northman. But theirs doesn't have a specific Russian accent.
Yeah, no, that's
all go
just...
the Birch Forest. It's, once again, Eastern European nondescript accent.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, between them, she also
Maybe it is just because I get so many stupid clips from the New Mutants all of the time in my fucking...
I don't know.
And I don't know why. I haven't seen that movie even.
But I know what you mean. You're like, oh, she's doing a Russian accent again. But then you're like,
yeah.
She hasn't actually done that many Russian accents? I don't know. I mean, Last Night in Soho, she's British. The Menu, she's American. Amsterdam?
Yeah, that's true.
No,
I don't know. I didn't see that one.
I'm pretty sure she has an American accent in that as well. Anyway, yeah, but I know what you mean. Anyway, though. Yeah, I get that feeling too. For some reason, I don't know. But so that was. But what was your? Do you think she was?
That was my main issue. Why did she have to have the Russian accent? Like, I know why, but it's like, ugh, come on. She could have, I don't know, been trained to sound American and just sound American because she didn't want to give off where she was from or something.
That doesn't make sense, but okay.
No, I know.
No. I don't know. That
just bugged me.
It didn't bother me really. No, I liked both of their performances. Once again, didn't have too much room to really get into the characters, but what they did was good. Someone who was pretty bad in this was Sigourney Weaver. Now she obviously had like three scenes,
exactly,
basically 3 minutes. But I don't know, she felt out of it. I don't know. I didn't feel the.
She didn't even try.
I don't want to say too much about her character, but she didn't feel like that kind of character. She felt more apologetic instead of menacing.
She was too, like, calm and nice, really.
Yeah.
There wasn't like any kind of edge to her or anything.
No, and we needed that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean. And other than that, we didn't really have many other performances.
No, I mean, other than that, people were only in one scene.
Yeah.
So there's not much to talk about there. So that is maybe that is a problem with a very very contained movie like this. No, that's not true either. Not with it, because that's not a problem with the movie. We talked about Baby Girl the other week. We talked feverishly about that one for like over an hour. But that's because there's more to talk about there. This has
more interesting themes and discussions.
Exactly.
This one doesn't have that.
This is popcorn entertainment. This is easily digestible. Watch it. Yeah, it was great, and now I don't remember it anymore. Nothing wrong with
that. Kind of like
but...
Twisters, but Twisters were fucking great.
Well, Twisters has more fun. It's not as bleak, and it has some action scenes that feel like part of the story instead of just
and they're all the story filtered through each other much better and like intertwined better. Here it's very one thing and then one thing.
Yeah.
And then just kind of separate them.
I wonder if that is why it is a streaming movie, like, because usually, you shop around a script like this. I'm guessing this is me again, just guessing. But Zach Dean had this script written like a spec script, I think they call it. Like he has written 20 movies and he's trying to sell them. He's probably sold more, and then a few of them hasn't been made, and then they made Tomorrow War and they made this. Which I think is so funny. Maybe usually they don't spend like millions on the script, but there's so many people who've I see online that have written I've written like 12 scripts, I've sold 8, and I was like, oh cool, so you have like 8 movies with your name on it? No. I sold them. I make a living selling my scripts, and 2 of them have been filmed.
Yeah.
I sold my first script 10 years ago. They still haven't made the movie, but they just buy the idea.
Probably never will.
Yeah. Which is insane. Like, even if it's like a small song, like they gave me $10,000 for my script, and then they just leave it on the shelf. And it's like, what? But then you realize, right, because they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on the movies they actually make.
Making a movie.
$10,000 is that's nothing. They wipe their ass.
And if they were to make
$10,000.
a movie of every single script they buy, every single script that has potential, that would be a lot of movies and a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we already have a lot of movies and a lot of money going around.
But that's what this movie feels like. There was just like, oh, that's an interesting idea. Like, there are 2 people on either side of a gorge. What's in the gorge? It's something dangerous, but we don't know what it is. That's something. I'll buy it from you. And then nothing happened. And then, I have this script, actually. We can make a movie out of this. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I
wonder how much they change when they do that. Because I
don't know.
Based on some of the details, it feels like Zach Dean maybe had some more lore he wanted to include about the people in the gorge.
Yes.
But they never really got around to fully exploring that.
Maybe because it would be too expensive, or they want to narrow the focus of the movie or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I agree.
Can we do spoilers, by the way? How far along are we?
We're about half an hour in. Yeah, we can start.
Okay,
we've kind of spoiled a little bit, but we can go into full spoilers now. So.
More details, because I there's this one detail that
before we go into it though, from here on out, spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers. Here we go.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
The difference between because CJ or whatever his name was, the guy who Miles Teller's character, I fucking remember his name, Levi released.
Levi.
JD maybe it was, not CJ, whatever.
They shoot him.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did they do with all the ones that just fell into the gorge? Who briefed the new guys? Because we found the first dude in the gorge.
Yeah.
And why not just, I don't know, push the dude in the gorge and make him part of the crew down there instead? Or something.
Well, that's just creating more problems for themselves.
Yeah, I guess. More people to take samples from. Use him as an experiment. See how many days he can survive before he turns. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or why would they even interchange them then? Why not just keep them until they die?
Because
or cannot perform anymore.
I don't think
wouldn't make a movie, but
yeah, that too. And you couldn't tell this is going to be your last assignment. You will stay on this post until you die. And they were no, I won't. I won't. And if they say you'll be here for a year, then you'll be rotated out, and they don't rotate him out, they'll leave, and then they won't watch the gorge. So I
guess
you can explain away stuff like that. But yeah,
but it's like Sigourney Weaver's character didn't even she didn't seem surprised by that, but she seemed, I don't know.
What do you mean?
She knew that people would have gone down there, and she knew she could see the camera. She had the feed, so it feels like they should have had more data by now as well, but they didn't seem to have any.
Once again, that's the problem with the high concept that's not fleshed out. There are obvious
flaws, plot holes.
Plot holes, yes, plot holes was what I was looking for. Yeah, because we saw all there became a tradition to write down a quote on the wall.
Yeah, on the wall. Yeah.
So we saw that, at least from what they were telling us, that they seem to have had someone there from the 40s up until now without without any breaks. But it would have been easier to say that, they could have said that the gorge was being obviously predicted in the beginning because of what happened, but then there was it fell into obscurity, and this company Dark Lake didn't discover it until 10 years ago. Yeah, and that's when they started sending people there. But then you also have to explain, why didn't anything escape for 10 years? Well, because the gorge was inaccessible for some reason, or inescapable for some reason, but it opened up, and that's how they found it, or something like that.
Exactly. Because we don't get to see the ends of the gorge. We don't know how far it stretches properly. We don't see what's at the end of it.
No. And that's where you have to kind of. That's where you have to flesh out your world. You have to do some world building. You have to do some.
Yes.
You have to build some lore. Even though I recently wrote a long comment on a video where I vehemently disagreed with the person about The Last of Us because he thought the ending didn't work in The Last of Us because it didn't fit with the world. I was like, what are you talking about? Or not that it didn't fit with the world. That the world was so poorly built, and the end didn't make sense. It doesn't matter. What I was talking about was because it's not a story about the world. It's a story about two people.
The people. Yeah.
But you still have to have this. There still needs to be enough internal logic for you to not question it. Here,
you need to have enough details to explain certain things.
Yeah. So here, now that we're actually talking about it, start breaking it down. Yeah, there are some cracks in the facade. There are some breaks in the fence, which
they could have easily. Oh jeez, they could have easily put in fuck it. He found some info on the fucking computers. Why didn't you just flesh it out there? Let him read it out loud for her to explain it to her and to us.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Or that's also they put in this detail. I don't know why that was so important that the monsters were the soldiers from the 40s. So obviously, and because the
Lost Battalions, as they called
the Lost Battalions, the Hollow Men, which is a cool name, but that means that they've had to protect the world from the Lost Battalion, the Hollow Men, since the 40s. So they would have had to have this defense program since the 40s. Because the earthquake released the toxins and created this, back in the 40s. It would have been a much easier way to because then you have almost 100 years of backstory where there's so much room for plot holes.
Exactly.
It would have been much easier and honestly more in line with intriguing with conspiracy stuff if, like you said, they started this experiment with chemical warfare in the 40s and everything was fine. They kept working on it in the 40s and 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s. But then in 1981 there was a huge earthquake. And all our research was destroyed, and the chemicals were released,
mixed or whatever.
And at that point, this was a super secret program. They had which we kind of saw there, but they never explained that they had an entire town down there with we saw cars. I think you even saw a theater, a movie theater.
A movie theater,
a
or
church,
something.
obviously,
a church.
You saw some houses.
Looked like a saloon.
Yeah.
At one point.
There was obviously people living down there. So you didn't need to have 4,200 soldiers going down there to become the monsters. You could just have the people who were living down there become the monsters. And then it would also make sense that this was all super, super hush-hush, like government stuff. But when that happened, they basically sealed the gorge and said, this didn't happen.
Never mind.
Yeah, we'll place out some. No, they wouldn't. They don't even place out. They don't even place out any. They didn't do the watchtowers or anything. They just sealed it up basically.
Yeah. Because it's in the middle of nowhere, so no one really knows it's existing until I guess the satellites that started taking pictures. Yes. But that's when Dark they were called.
Yeah, then
Dark Lake.
Somehow Dark Lake found the gorge.
Yeah.
And they now the people who sealed the gorge, the people in the government, it's so deep state stuff that the people in the government that are living now aren't aware of it.
Yeah,
there are files about it somewhere, but they don't know about it. So Dark Lake basically just like, we fucking just sneak in and take their research and work from their stuff. And that's when they created
when they started cloaking it and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when they realized, oh shit, there's monsters down here.
Yeah. See, we improved this movie with just talking about it.
Yeah, and it would be the exact same movie. You just change a little bit of the backstory. Yeah. That's it.
Because it can still pick up where it picked up, literally.
Yeah.
And the only difference is that, it's not soldiers they found down there, it's just random people.
Yeah, which would have been just as dangerous.
They could have also found a couple of soldiers that have fallen to their death while trying to protect or cover up the gorge. Just like they fell in, basically.
Yeah.
I thought we would see his predecessor somehow turn up after they shot him. Like that would be like a sign for them that something is wrong, something's fishy.
That's another thing that doesn't really make sense. They shoot him and just drop him in the wilderness. His body's just gonna lie there. Obviously, it's out of nowhere.
Sure,
but they're still leaving evidence behind. Like, here's a dead soldier. He was shot in the head.
Wouldn't it be better to take him back to headquarters and cremate him?
Yeah. But then again, then they would have to build another set, so it's better just shoot him on a green screen hanging from a helicopter.
I mean, they could have just shot him and let him hang there. They didn't have to cut him loose, and then we could just assume that they took him back and buried him.
Yeah.
Which is what we would have assumed. Now we just there's a random corpse in the woods.
Why did they have to kill him?
That too.
It's this thing
because he knows about
nobody
the
has to know,
or
nobody can know. Nobody can know. But why?
Why would he tell anyone though?
I guess if he actually found out, he would tell. But the thing is, he said he never had any sort of contact with what was down there. He heard them.
He just knew there was shit down there.
Yeah.
And it's not like he could have pointed it out on a map. So
yeah.
He's not a liability.
So
what was the point of killing him?
It was supposed to kind of show that something's fishy right from the start.
Sure,
but I mean,
we kind of already knew that.
Yeah, obviously it's fishy when you're not allowed to contact the people on the other side, and there is no outside.
They ask you about do
you have any family? Yeah,
exactly.
It's
Is there anyone who's gonna miss you if you're gone for long? We know obviously what that means. Everyone knows what that means.
Even if it's not evil, something's weird about
Suspicious.
it. Yeah. And also, because I did start thinking while I was watching this, you could make sequels to this. Which would be more...
If you change the ending a little bit, yes.
No, you wouldn't even have to change the ending.
No?
Well, yeah, because they do blow up the gorge.
Exactly.
If they don't blow up the gorge, they just killed off Sigourney Weaver. They're just she's just one cog in that huge dark.
Of course, she's just the contact person. Yeah. She's not in charge. So, there's always a higher up.
Yeah, and since they always kill the operatives who were in the watchtowers, now they have two escapees, and it could have been, which is the ending is very similar to the Bourne Identity, that they meet up in a sunny place.
Yeah.
But they kind of have to be on the run because people are still looking for Bourne, but now Dark Lake are looking for them.
Yeah.
And they could be, the sequel could be that they're kind of torn, because obviously though they do, because they destroy the cloaking devices that cloak it from satellites, so everyone does know about it.
But they also blow it up, so
they also blow it up, that's also why first expose it and then destroy it? I mean, why expose it and just destroy it? What's the point? If you're just gonna destroy it anyway.
Maybe it was a fail-safe in case they didn't manage to destroy it. They're fuck it.
Yeah. No,
if the system failed for some reason.
Once again, that's not thinking your story through.
No.
Because if they just exposed it, it could be we're gonna expose this because he wrote that cool quote. There are three things that will always come into the light or whatever it is.
Yeah, the sun, the moon, and truth or whatever.
So,
three constants in the world.
Yeah, they won't be complicit to what happened down there, these human experiments and everything. We have to tell someone this can't be a thing. Also, it's super dangerous. I mean, if anything gets out, we're done for. Like we talked about. Yeah. So, and they're like, but it's too dangerous. We'll be running your entire lives, but it's worth it for the truth. We can become a conspiracy thriller. And then, they get separated, and she, just like in the movie, she kind of gives up on ever meeting him again. She thinks he died, maybe. So she kind of gives up on actually spreading the truth. But then he turns up, and she's like, oh my God, oh, I'm so happy, woo! And you have the ending that you have. But he's also like, so what we have to do now, and then dun dun.
Yeah.
And you have that, lead into a sequel.
That's why maybe that's why he didn't show up, because he had to like make sure the right people knew something.
Yeah, and make sure that.
And he didn't want to drag her into it too much.
For her, because eventually they're like, okay, she's not doing anything, but we can't just. I mean, obviously they can just kill her, but they won't. Yeah. And he's like, that's when it's safe to actually contact her. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you could have the next movie start with a different character. Because obviously, they exposed it by removing the cloaking signals.
Sure, but Dark Lake will be quick to reinstall that shit, obviously.
But there's always fucking 4chaners or hackers, weirdos at home in the basement that find stuff out. Conspiracy theorists. And there's a guy that's like, I knew it! He's been sitting, he's been typing furiously into the hacking machine. And he's like, and he finds satellite pictures of the Gorge.
Yeah.
And he's been doing research into this secret experiment thing he heard about that's been going back to the 40s. And as soon as he finds stuff out, things start going wrong with his life. And he's like, hey, they're after me. I need to expose this. But then, he's going to meet up with someone, but that's of course a double crosser. They're going to kill him. And just before they shoot him, Miles Teller appears like, come with me if you want to live. I know the truth. I'll help you. Yes. And then it's a Bourne movie,
I know that we usually don't like sequels, but yes, I would kind of like that if they had made this one.
This is ripe for building sequels on.
Yeah.
Because it's a mystery we didn't get to know too much about. Exactly. And we have compelling enough characters to actually care about them exposing the truth.
Yeah.
And then him and Anya Taylor-Joy and this the weirdo hacker dude has to kind of expose this.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from there though. Would it be too big that because they expose it, the virus gets out, and the third movie is like a full on like Resident Evil zombie apocalypse movie?
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know where we go from there.
But maybe they need to like make their way back in there to find some more concrete data, or like, but there was actually a cure. They just never had time to administrate it. So we need to get in there and like unleash this new gas that can save it all or whatever. Stop the spread.
And Blacklight don't want that, of course, because they finally have their super soldier serum.
Exactly. And if Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy release that cure, their super soldiers will be ruined.
Yeah, because it's a viral thing. So even if they have super soldiers with the gene outside of the Gorge, they will die.
Yeah, because they are hive. They are one.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
because it's spores. Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
See.
So yeah.
Potential.
Scott Derrickson, Zach Dean will help you write the sequel. You can still kind of do it.
Kinda. We just need to retcon a little bit without actually retconning things.
Yeah, you start the second movie with a Dark Lake cleanup team going into the Gorge. It's all blown out, of course, because of the atom bomb. But then they're like, Sir, I found a sample. I was like, good.
Or like something's moving over there.
Yeah.
And everything wasn't destroyed.
Perfect. Start up the research. And the bomb.
Yeah. And then you cut to hacker dude sitting in his basement going like, what the hell? This has always been this way. Why has it changed?
Yeah. Why is no one talking about the fucking huge explosion that happened up in the Russian taiga 6 months ago?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Tunguska too?
And there we go. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's been a while since we rewrote a story like this, but it's fun sometimes.
Yeah. And this one actually would work to kind of do that with. Because you have movies, kind of high concept movies like this that have a bunch of sequels that really shouldn't, like Alien. That should never have had
For
a
example.
sequel.
Nope, that should have
Even
been
though
one.
I like a couple of the sequels, it should never have had a sequel. It should just been one movie.
Yes.
Because that one, unlike The Gorge, is so perfect.
Yes.
So like you're just gonna ruin it with sequels. The Gorge, it's disposable enough. Like, whatever. Let's make 3 more.
They didn't
garbage
make it
movies,
perfect enough to make it a standalone. Is like only one movie kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna ruin The Gorge by making a sequel.
No.
Yeah.
I would say that though about like. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but I remember absolutely loving Oblivion when it came out.
Yeah.
And a few years after. Like, if they ever tried to make a sequel on that one, no, you would have ruined it.
That would be hard, too, because of how it ends, I think.
I don't remember the ending.
He finds out he's like a clone.
Oh, right, he's
sent
like a
down
clone
to
or something. Yeah, that's true.
To safeguard some sort of research thing,
This
because up in the
area,
sky
yeah.
there's aliens up in a big pyramid, and Earth is basically just a science project.
Right. Well, kind of like The Gorge then, I guess.
Yeah.
True, that's true.
So that would be hard, but yeah, it would also you couldn't where you would go with it wouldn't be as fun and interesting as the first movie.
No.
Because of the whole clone thing and everything.
Exactly.
So yeah. And that movie no.
I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in so long.
It should almost, I mean, it's too young still. It's only 10 years old. But that could almost get like cult classic status, I think. Because of the visuals. It's still not, it's not like on the level of like The Matrix or something.
No.
But I think it's a movie that kind of unfairly got forgotten.
Yeah, lost in the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think this is it for today.
I think it is,
much more to say.
A little shorter episode.
I still liked it.
But,
once I like, just after I finished it, I was like, yeah, this is a great movie. But it's like, it's not a perfect movie. I can't give it a 5-star.
No.
I give it like a 4. I really enjoyed it. But now that we're talking about it, like, yeah, there are flaws that you were just kind of, while I was watching it, I was blind to them because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
And when you start looking into the actual logic of the movie, it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't really make sense.
No. And I mean,
so I lowered it to a 3-star because I still think it's a really good movie. Yeah. It looks very, and I mean, it has jump scares, it has romance, it has plain action that's just cool. Jesus Christ, my cat is yelling in the background.
But
if you can hear that,
but it is the very definition of a 7 out of 10. I would say
yes,
because what it does very well.
Exactly.
But what it does is not like what it does is not amazing.
Exactly.
It does fine. What it does fine is very well. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yes, we get it.
It's a perfect 7 out of 10.
Yes.
It's not a flawed 10 out of 10, you know. And that's why the critic score is 57 out of 100. But the highest is 80 out of 100 from the Telegraph. And the lowest, which is not fair, I think it's a 30. It has one like negative review. Oh, a few more. 33 is the lowest. In the depths of the abyss below, The Gorge mostly turns into a high concept action film that's so dull, predictable, and ugly to look at. Once again, professional journalist.
Easy. Predictable and ugly to look at. It's extremely easy to tune out and have your mind go on autopilot while the otherwise charismatic Teller and Taylor, I didn't press read more, are wasted. There's supposed to be like a comma or a period.
Yeah,
in the middle.
I get what they mean with it being ugly, because it obviously has that modern kind of washed out look.
Sure,
but I do appreciate that the Gorge, the hellscape down there, is a bunch of different colors. It's not just like brown. It's purple, yellow, red.
We have the different.
It's almost like blood rain at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. The creature design is really cool.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But it is that poorly implemented HDR, washed out digital look, unfortunately.
Yes.
So it feels murky.
Yes.
But I wouldn't call it
the design of it all is really intricate and pretty.
There was an idea to make it look
exactly.
good.
Then they just threw fog on top of it because they were afraid people would see the flaws if there possibly are any.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the one that like bothered me a little bit. I get why, but it's like, it's so foggy. It could have been
less foggy.
Could have been like a layer at the top, and then when you get through that, it's less foggy at least.
Yeah.
Just to show us the design of the creatures. Those little skull spiders were disgusting.
Yeah, we barely saw them.
I wanted to see them better.
Yeah. Just because it wouldn't have made sense, but just because it's fun, they should have had glowing eyes, so you saw the eyes in the skulls.
Yeah.
For some reason, the best sequence in there is when they're about to leave the missile silo and they have to walk through this network of bodies.
Yes, and they accidentally touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they accidentally touch it, and then it catch you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was halfway expecting a giant skull spider or something turning up, that being its webs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a perfect middle of slightly above average, just good action popcorn movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Friday night entertainment I was about to say with the family, but I guess it depends on how.
But it depends on your family
is.
But yeah, they I think this could have done fairly well in theaters.
Yeah,
with a little more promotion. I mean, you have big names. Anya fucking Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. People love her.
Yeah.
Hell, put Miles Teller's abs in the trailer, and you would have had.
Oh yeah. That we would
have had more people coming on.
We didn't have any shots of them or anything. I mean, we barely had that in the movie. That's also
a hint at it. There's a kiss and there's a bit of dance.
Out of focus grinding basically.
Yeah. And then we have his shower scene.
Yeah. That's which is also a sign of this being a modern movie and that they don't have to put stuff in because it's just on streaming anyway. We needed kind of not a full-on, but a steamy, a real PG-13 sex scene.
Because it is PG-13, so they could have thrown it in.
Yeah. Just have them, instead of just going out of focus, just show a little bit of skin, them, Also, that...
Honestly, they could have had the shower scene be that.
Yeah.
Instead of her being a little prankster and putting his stuff further away. Have her join him instead.
So she can look at him running butt naked you fucking pervert. What the fuck?
They obviously wanted to because they took them, an hour?
Yeah. And also, then you can put that shot in the trailer.
Yes.
And sorry, but that sells,
It sells.
And I mean,
they could have still just put him in the trailer and would have sold.
Yeah, of course.
No one would mind watching those abs.
But it's also you already wrote a sex scene into the script. Why be such a prude and not show it? I mean, you don't have to have full fucking,
no,
desperado sex scene, but actually have them have sex.
Have the start of it, or have the fade to black kind of thing. Something. Show a little bit more.
Something, because then you can put that in the trailer.
They do it in Anyone But You. They kind of show it, but they don't. And then you have the morning
after. They show enough. And they show more.
They show a lot, but they could have showed less. They could have done that and just showed a little bit less. Obviously,
sure.
Just have the morning after, or whatever.
Yeah. It's just in some ways old school filmmaking is making a return, but in some ways we're still this is way too modern of a movie. This needed a bit of an old school touch more than just being a non-sequel or anything.
They're putting modern filters and
barriers
barriers,
blinders
on top of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, imagine if this came out in 2004.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel and I don't know, someone, I don't know.
God.
Play them. It would be it would feel much dumber, but that's because it's Vin Diesel. But it would have shown more, and it would have been more rock music, which was something that was missing because the music is made by Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails. And Atticus Ross, the guy, because they're a team now making music for movies. They made the music for Challengers, last year.
Yeah.
They make awesome music, and in this one you barely hear their music. There's this one part they're also playing through the trailer, but I think that's just a 9 Inch Nails song that they picked a sample from. So there's all this thought put into it, and then I don't know.
I had to open up Letterboxd on the 2000s to see who's a big actor from that time. Like, who could have been?
I don't know if they're in the same age range, but Sandra Bullock? Even though she was kind of like I guess her star was kind of fading in the 2000s.
She was a bit too old by then. You know who could have been? What's his name? Ryan Gosling. He could do action. But he hasn't really done action.
That wouldn't have worked, because then if it was early 2000s, it would have been pre-Drive, and then people wouldn't have accepted it. Because then he was a Notebook guy.
That's true.
It needs to be like early 2000s action star. Yeah. But not like Van Damme or Steven Seagal, someone else.
No.
Not someone from the old school. The new team of action heroes. Fucking, since we mentioned
Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah, why not?
He was a bit of a heartthrob back then as well, and he could do action.
He could do action as well. Yeah. And then who would be the
leading lady?
Leading lady, yeah.
I mean, hell, you could have done Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for Christ's sake. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie,
that could work,
basically. Because, I mean, it's
older,
a similar story.
Older, more grizzled soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that makes sense with them being Expendables.
That would have been a lot more expensive, though.
True. Very, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing, you could have also. I don't know how old Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy's characters were supposed to be, but like they felt and looked very young to be Expendables.
Yes, or to be like retired. I mean, obviously, as a soldier, you can retire pretty early.
Sure.
Especially if it's like for medical stuff. But I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy is born in 96. She's 29. Oh, okay.
She's younger than me.
And Miles Teller, I think he's like me.
Maybe
a couple of years younger.
Yeah, something like that. 87.
Okay. He's fucking pushing 40.
He's a couple of years older than you.
Yeah. So he's almost 10 years older than her. Really can't tell.
Yeah. Well, he still plays the younger dudes, though. He hasn't really outgrown that yet.
He has a boyish face. That's the thing. Yeah.
Anywho,
we're dragging this out. Yeah. But I would say, watch The Gorge. If you like, like high concept, elevator pitch kind of sci-fi action movies, check this out. It was fun.
Yes, I would say it's a great like Friday night not hangout movie, like watch a movie, kind of chill evening.
Yeah. Just something like, I want to watch a movie tonight. Nothing too heavy, but I want to watch something new that's actually good.
Yeah.
The Gorge.
Watch The Gorge.
It's Gorge. And I think our companion piece for this week, I don't think we have a specific movie, but now that we have talked a lot about like high concept elevator pitches, I think we should just do like we should just what do you call it? Brainstorm like elevator pitches for dumb movies.
Sure.
Yeah, because I have not million, but I have several ideas. I think I've told you a couple of them.
You probably have.
So yeah, we're literally just gonna hang out on Patreon this week.
Yes.
So check us out on patreon.com/domemagazine if you want to see that. And
if you want to hang out with us.
Yeah, and you want to get literally hundreds of hours of exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, thank you so much for listening or watching. And leave a like, subscribe, 5-star on Apple Podcast or wherever you're listening to this. And we'll see you in the next week. But until then, have a good one. Bye. The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and hosted by Tobias Vedén. Co-host is Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a shout out to all our patrons on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. CK85, Christopher Berlin, Daniel Gaiso, Annika Vedén, Jacob, Mom and Mac, Laura King.